Hello my friends, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to such an exciting video. It has been a long time since I have looked forward to filming in this way. It's been such a welcome thing that I have not only looked forward to this release, but y'all, oh my goodness, we have a lot to talk about because this is what brings back all the makeup feels for me. So we're gonna talk about, as you already saw by the thumbnail, is the new Natasha Denona, my dream palette. I also picked up the face palette. So I opted out of the lip products for now, but oh, you guys, we have a lot to talk about. We're gonna put this on my eyes. I'm gonna give you swatches on my skin tone, on a deeper skin tone, and just all the things that you need to know in case you're still on the fence about this one, which I'm just already gonna tell you, you need this palette. So that being said, let's just jump right into this because we've got a lot of ground to cover. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and start off with what do we start off with? Let's do the face palette. So the face palette is, I believe, $49, maybe it was $48. I will link it below as usual. Here's what it looks like. I love the design of this. She went different and I'm here for it. You guys know, if you've been with my channel for a long time, packaging for me is everything. So the fact that it was different, it's not just the plain, solid color, I'm here for it. I love it so much. I also love the very neutral shade of the actual palette itself. It's just so lovely. And it's not that shiny material that she typically uses. It's a little bit more matte than that. And then just so that you know, on both the palette and the face palette, eye and face palette, that anything on the palette is raised. So these little ink splatters, the lettering, it's all raised and it feels so, so nice. It's just, the quality is there. Anyways, so here's what the little cheek trio looks like. It's tiny. It's just probably a little bit bigger than maybe a credit card and a half type of thing. It's very pretty, very travel friendly, except it's really not. So this is how mine came. I had to literally throw away everything that was in this pan because it was all over the place. So I've been able to use what remains, but Sephora is shipping another one. It's not in store yet, so I can't just go do an exchange, and we'll see. Round 2 might be broken as well. It's obviously a very soft powder and hadn't ordered from Sephora in this way in a while, and well, here we are again. So here is the cheek palette. Comes with a blush and 2 highlights, a cream and a powder, obviously, and it is made in Italy. Again, $48. We're gonna put this on the face together. I'm already gonna tell you, it's wonderful. I love it. But then again, I love all her cheek products, and that was no surprise. Let's move into, oh goodness, as I'm having to clean highlighter off of here. What do I do? Okay, okay, we're just gonna dump it on the carpet. I'll vacuum in a while. Nothing wrong with some sparkly carpet. Okay, so here is the eyeshadow palette. You guys, again, with the packaging, so pretty. I love the feel of this. I'm so happy. Now, I will tell you that mine came in, I thought it was broken because look at the back. It is dirty and I cannot get this off. And so when I took it out of the box, I was like, it's broken. Surprise, surprise. It's actually not. So I don't know where this powder came from. It's not from the cheek palette because the blush is intact. So anyways, so mine's a little dirty on the back. You have the, as in her midi form, the little pinholes on the back that you can rearrange if you want. I don't like doing that because then the names are kind of not in sync with how they, their original naming conventions, but whatever, that is that. It was $69, so she increased her price by $4. Again, everything is going up in price, so I can't say that I was surprised, but it also makes me wonder, like the $129 palettes, are those gonna go up in price too? I don't know. That may be a little rich for my blood at that point, and we'll see about that. But anyways, they have increased to $69. I will also say though, willing to pay an extra $4 for the different packaging, it's okay. So then you open it up, it is the same size as her midi palettes, and again, your typical mirror, and then, oh my goodness, this is what this looks like. I will tell you right off the bat, sometimes you see a palette in photos before it's released and then you get it and you're like, this is a little different than I envisioned. This is exactly what I envisioned, what I saw, what I hoped for, and it is everything and more for a fall winter palette. This is so appropriate for the upcoming season. Sometimes brands release eyeshadow palettes and you're like, this is kind of weird that they're releasing this in the summer when it's, anyways. So very appropriate for the upcoming season. It's got a whole myriad of finishes. So just so you know, this is what the box looks like. Looks like exactly like the palette. And it's got an array of matte shadows, metallic, duochrome, and chroma crystal. So chroma crystal are typically a little bit thinner in consistency and usually not my favorite, but we'll have to get into that. So here's what this bad boy looks like. So pretty. Oh my goodness. And then this one right here, just wow. So nice. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw these on to my hand real quick. I'm just going to talk through these. There are a handful. I'm just going to be straight up with you. This is the second time I've used this palette. I wanted to try it out with a few shades yesterday just so that I could get a feel for it and then use a few extra shades today together that I hadn't used. So there's still a handful that I haven't used. But anyways, we're going to talk through these finishes together. I'm going to throw up a photo on my husband's skin tone so that you can see, if you are of a deeper skin tone, how these might appear on you. So I hope you find that helpful. Let me grab the first row of swatches and I'll be right back. All right, so here are the first 5. I don't know if I told you, I'm having did I tell you this was made in Italy? Both the face and the eye palette are made in Italy. Couldn't remember. Anyways, so here we go. We've got Blackest Black. We've got Aspiration. We've got Serenity, we've got Carpe Diem, and then we've got Babies, which I don't know. I haven't watched a whole lot of her videos leading up to this palette, so I'm certain there is a reason for that name. But anyways, when I opened the palette, I thought, Babies? So it's like random. Anyways, here is the first row. Blackest Black has been one of her classic shades, I think, for a very long time. So that is in this palette. I don't believe I have this one, so I don't have anything to compare to, but if you do already own the shade, then know that it is in this palette as well. There is also another shade that is a repeat. I don't know which one that is. What I should have done is pulled out my Triochrome palette. Is that the one that she came out with where there was 3 that are Triochrome? Because I feel like one of these, maybe that is the repeat. Anyways, I didn't listen. I didn't do my homework. Y'all, I haven't had a whole lot of time, so kind of a miracle that I'm even sitting down to film this now. Let me grab the second row and I'll be right back. All right, here we've got row number 2. As I'm swatching these, I'm like, oh my goodness, the joy that it's bringing me right now to swatch these and look at how beautiful they are is really bringing me back to days when I just looked so forward to all these makeup releases, when good stuff used to release on a very frequent basis. Anyways, total side note. So here we go. Instinct, then we've got Thrill. Oh my goodness, so pretty. And then we've got Unity. Let's see, Risk. Now, Risk is one of those that's more like a satin that is a little more dull. So I know that she comes out with 1 or 2 of those in each and every palette, and they're never my favorite finish. They are very opaque, very pretty. They pack a good punch pigmentation-wise, but the finish is not that high shine that I love so much. And then we've got Invention. And I'm gonna be, I think, I'm 99.9% sure this is one of those chroma crystals just based on the finish. And so please correct me if I'm wrong, but that one has a little bit more base than a lot of her chroma crystals, if this is indeed the one. So here is row number 2, so fall, so beautiful. And then the throw in of these that are super metallic, that have that shift. Oh my goodness, I can't get enough. All right, let me grab the final row and we'll go over those. So here is the last row, obviously this one being a very heavy shift, and it is one of the ones on my lid today. I also meant to tell you, so this is edgy and it is one of those cream to powder matte finishes. On our last row, Instinct was also kind of one of those cream to powder finishes. The kind of formula that some people love, some people hate. When it comes to these, I love them so much. Sometimes in her palettes, they get a little, when you put a blending brush in there, it gets a little, like it knocks these chunks out and it just doesn't look as nice. But as a whole, the formula is amazing. So Vision, oh my goodness. Oh, pink and green, oh my goodness. It very much reminds me of Danessa Myricks. So speaking of, I am readily waiting for that new palette that she's coming out with because I loved last year's so much. Total side note, here we go. Edgy. Then we've got Spontaneous. Oh my goodness. That right there is everything for me in makeup. I love it so very much, never get tired of it. Here we've got Nurture, And then lastly, we've got Familia. Oh, so beautiful. So rich, so pretty. Okay, these are the 15 shades. Now it's time to put this on my eyes together. So I'm gonna hope that you find this helpful in case you have purchased the palette, in case you are looking to purchase the palette, so that you can see how they work for me, how they kind of play in real time. But I'm just already gonna give you the spoiler. They're incredible. I mean, incredible. Okay, let's put this on my eyes together. Oh, okay, hold on, y'all. Before we get into the demo, I need to give you the face palette because can't forget about that. The eye palette, yes, is front and center and to me is most important, but the face palette is pretty good too. So let's go ahead and go in with some swatches here. Oh my goodness, this thing is such a disaster. Okay, let's go ahead and just do these while we are live together. Okay, cream blush. That's literally what it's called. Cream blush. So pretty. Here's the thing. It's rosy enough to where it's like a rosy nude, and it just adds so much flush, so much pretty. It's got that pigmentation, but it's soft enough to where it's not overly dramatic. You can blend it out to where it's not like, you don't look like a clown. I don't know. Something about it is just, it's everything and more. Okay, let's do the cream base, which when she puts these cream bases in her face palettes, more often than not, I tend to bypass that and go into the powder. Now, I know Natasha Denona is very all about layering, and that is the reason she does the whole cream and then powder, because you lay the cream down, then you go in with the powder. It does add that extra oomph. A lot of times it's a step that I don't take because I'm in a hurry or whatever. It's not like it takes that long, but still. Okay, and then let's kind of smash up some of this powder. But really, this is crazy. Okay, let me do this because it's gonna get messy. I feel like that didn't swatch the greatest. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Hoping my next one comes in intact. If not, I gotta go in store once they get it in. But this is the face palette right here. I will say, so again, I will throw up the photo. I don't know, I feel like it might be a little icy for deeper skin tones. I haven't yet swatched these on my husband, so I don't know. We'll see. And I'm not skilled enough to know what would look too icy, too ashy, but photo will tell. Anyways, all right, let's get into the demo now. I hope you enjoy. So starting off with a blending brush and going into the shade Unity, I'm going to place this all over my crease. Now, I honestly thought this was going to be a little bit lighter on the lid than it went on. But then once I looked at the pan, I thought, well, okay, that makes sense. It is a beautiful color. It is, see how like in the pan it looks lighter and on me it looks a little bit deeper? That's okay though. The pigmentation is amazing. It blends out so well. In typical or fine Natasha Denona fashion, it just blends out like a dream. So next going in with I think this is a BH Cosmetics blending brush in the shade Instinct. I am certain this is one of those cream to powder formulas, one that is one of my very favorites from the brand. And just placing this a little bit lower than that Unity shade on the outer portion of the crease. So just kind of laying that down and then blending it in just to deepen up the look a little bit. And again, I love this type of formula. I find it so easy to work with. I know some people hate it, but I tend to really enjoy this formula and how it lays down on the lid. So now let's go into the shade Edgy. Again, another cream to powder formula. I don't even know why I blew on the brush if it's kind of a cream shade. Anyways, but just going in with a small Real Techniques blending brush. This is a little bit smaller that helps you get into those little detailed areas. And just laying this down on the outer portion of the lid to deepen it out, smoke it out a little bit. These burgundy tones are just so perfect for fall. They deepen up a look so nicely. They look sultry, but in a very girly way. So blending this out, and again, it blends just so incredibly well. No surprise there. Natasha Denona shades typically do. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of my Fenty Pro Filter Eye Primer. If you're a regular on my channel, this is not new to you. If you are new, this is what I use as a tacky base anytime I'm going to go in with like a metallic, a glitter shade, anything that's a more standout shade. It just really helps adhere best. And next I'm going to go in with the shade Vision. this is one of those, I don't know, at this point it may even be a trio chrome. This is so incredible. It's absolutely beautiful. And the shades in her trio chrome palette, I wasn't as much of a fan of. They're a little bit more dull and lackluster in finish. These are so metallic. It's absolutely stunning. And when I turn, I can just see the shift 100%. Very much reminds me of Danessa Myricks. So I'm going to go in with a shader brush that's a little fluffy, and I'm going to lay down a little bit more on top of what I laid down with my finger. Basically putting it down with my finger kind of added just the really powerful part, and then this is just adding a second layer and just kind of blending it all out, getting it into the area that my finger doesn't reach into. So now, decisions. I'm going to end up going in with the shade Spontaneous. I wanted a lighter shade to place into the inner corner of my lid and blend it into that Vision shade, and this one did not disappoint. Again, very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the pigmentation is absolutely incredible. So even going in with a brush, because obviously not using my finger to get into this little space, and it just it laid down so nicely, and it blended into that Vision shade incredibly. All right, so going into the shade Instinct once more, this is just a little stumpy pencil brush, and I'm just starting to, I guess, line my lower lash line. Obviously, if you wear contacts, you know the struggle. But I'm going to place this on most of my lower lash line just to kind of mirror what I have on the lid itself. And once I've done that, I'm going to go into the deeper shade, into that edgy shade, and just kind of, again, mirror what I did on the top and place this on the outer portion of the lower lash line. So it kind of just helps deepen it up and tie everything together. So incredible. This palette is everything and more. Everything I had hoped for, and just even more than that. So all right, let's move into the face palette, to my sad little face palette. I have since received a replacement, and it is intact, thankfully. Going in with my, I think this is a Real Techniques highlighter brush, and I'm going into that cream highlight. And this one picks up very nicely. I wouldn't use a more stippling brush. I would use a more dense brush because it is a cream. But just taking this and placing it on where I would put highlight. And this actually plays very, very nicely. It did not lift my foundation. It didn't leave any kind of splotchy mess. It went on very nicely, very smooth, and surprisingly, it lasted all day long. It was the tone was very suitable for my skin tone. Adding a little on the nose highlight, because here's the thing. I know there's people that hate on that. For me, it brings me joy, so I'm going to keep doing it. Now let's go into this sad broken pan of product. For what little is left in there, let's go ahead and grab it and place it over top of the cream. Now Natasha Denona is very big on layering because that's what helps the impact of the product, and it does layer very, very nicely. So just putting that over top, and again, it just kind of adhered very well to the cream, didn't disrupt anything, just very, very nice. So now using a Real Techniques, I forget, it's called like a cheek pot brush, but it's really meant for cream blush, and going into the blush. Now this does say cream blush. It feels and goes on like a powder, so I feel like I'm a little confused by that. Again, I didn't do my homework prior to filming this, so it could very well be this super innovative new formula. But it does say cream blush, feels anything but a cream blush. Applies beautifully. And that's it, guys. That is the final look. I love this collection so much. Okay, my friends, did you find that helpful? I hope you did. Anyways, quick and easy. That's one thing I love about Natasha Denona palettes. You can make it as simple as you need to, but it still looks like you put a ton of effort into it. And this palette, you guys, I don't know. I know I just did my ranking. This may now be my number one. I don't know. Time will tell if it stays in that spot. But seriously, at this moment in time, this is my number one over Glam. I just love this palette so much. I've told y'all before, and in fact, told you in that ranking palette that these kind of purple wine shades, burgundies, look stunning on me because and that sounded so vain, but in the sense that they make my eye color pop. They're very flattering on me, and sometimes it's just a matter of finding what shade is like truly flattering on you, what brings out your eye tone, what just complements your skin tone, that kind of thing. These types of shades are all Michelle. So, oh my goodness, sounded so vain. Anyways, I love the mix of the deeper wine burgundy tones to the ratio of these super metallic, high shine, even duochrome shades. There is such an even balance in this palette. The quality is absolutely sensational. It is up to par, maybe, I don't know, I want to say maybe even better, because on those chroma crystal shades, or like, for example, this one right here, I always go into those with the mindset that it's going to be thin. I have to layer, put a base down as far as another shade, and then put the chroma crystal on top because they can't stand on their own. And this one had just a lot more base than what I'm used to. It wasn't as thin, and I am just totally here for it. I think there's another one I want to say. I don't know this for sure. I need to go back and do homework. I'm doing things backwards here. Should have done the homework, then the video. But I think Thrill might be another one because I have used that on its own. I did yesterday, and it held up beautifully on its own, but I could tell it's a little bit of a thinner base or a thinner consistency, which typically I wouldn't be a fan of, but it's like it packs more than usual. Anyways, all in all, this is going to be my go-to palette for the fall and winter months. I am so happy with it. I love it. Just, really, I'm speechless. I'm speechless. This is what I've been waiting for a long time. I've just been in a makeup funk, and nothing really tends to excite me anymore when it comes to makeup. And this has just, I feel like it has sparked that reason, I guess, that I just used to look forward to makeup so much. So thank you, Natasha Denona, for that. And I love, love, love the packaging. As far as the face palette, I actually love it as well. I'm hoping I can get one with a good powder in there. Hoping it doesn't break this next time it comes over. But I think it's just a matter of whether you're wanting to pay the price tag. It's small. It's small. For the price point, $48 for 3 smaller products. I won't ever go through these. I still have all of her other face palettes, and I'm still trying to work my way through those. Probably well past expired too. Anyways, I love both of these products. So happy I picked them up. Obviously, if I had to choose, I'd choose the eyeshadow palette. But if you have been on the fence, add to cart, check out. The link is in my description. And it's an affiliate link, so it does it does help me out. And y'all want to know what? I just dropped the face palette on the floor. So what was left of that highlight powder is gone. Okay, that being said, y'all, I thank you so much for stopping by. Want to leave you with a very quick verse of the day to motivate you, encourage you, and to tell you that Jesus loves you. Today's comes from Jeremiah 15:15, short and sweet, but so meaningful. I love it. It says, "You understand, O Lord, remember and care for me." If you are in a situation in life, if you're in a chapter of your life, whatever, that you feel alone, know that Jesus cares for you so much. You are so important to him. It's funny how we tend to think God is too busy for us because the world and so many people, and how could he even care about our, what bothers me or what I'm going through. And the fact of the matter is, he does. He paid a very high price for you, and he loves you. No matter what anybody says, you are so important. You're valued. You're loved. You were made in his image, and you were formed. He formed you. Before the world even began, he knew that you would be a part of it. So that being said, if you don't already know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, it is my prayer and my honor to tell you that he loves you and wants to be very king of your life. So I pray that he speaks to your heart in this moment, and that you would answer that call, that you would make him your Savior, the king of your life, your very best friend, because truly walking life with him is, everything else comes and goes, but he's the one who sticks with you forever. Alrighty, friends. Thanks again for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your day. See you soon.